Hello, so this is Alagappan Vijayakumar, and I'm here to explain how to use covers of daily fantasy pack that we've been sending out to our subscribers over the last 20 days. We started with team and venue packs, and once the tournament started, we also started sending out daily packs. And the second day was such a big hit that we got 100 subscribers joining our channel on that day, and we've delivered a series of it over the last 15 days. That the number of winning screenshots that we have got, if you total it, it would easily amount to 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs, 15 lakhs. And considering this is something not everyone will be comfortable sharing what they have won. So imagine how much it would have actually the impact, the kind of impact it would have actually had. But still, there are people that who have been asking how to use our packs in the right way, and even in general, I've also been surprised at why aren't people winning more, because these packs, the potential of these packs is enormous, and there are people who have been saying that they need to understand how to use these packs. And I do admit that it could be a little bit complex when you start off, but as you go along, it will get easier. And subscribers who joined us a couple of weeks back found it difficult initially, but now they are a lot more at ease in knowing how to work all of these out. And anyway, I'm going to explain to you exactly how you should use it here. I think I should share my screen first. Yeah, what is it? Entire screen. I'll go for the entire screen. Okay, so hold on for a second. I think it's coming up. Yeah. Okay, so I'll go to the sheet. So this is the sheet that we send out to our subscribers every day for every match. This is something that we build on based on the team and venue docs that we sent out. We sent out 20 days back. It is at covers of search now. If you want to reactivate, you can reactivate at 269 rupees per month. So this has, if you can notice, this has 7 sheets. So the first thing that you should do is have a look at these. Obviously, this is the number of matches that they have played and their performances in those matches. It'll be a brief summary of it, and maybe have a look at it. But the most important thing that you should do is read this page, match notes. This is where the entire value, most of the value, or at least most of the value is. And if you go through these the text, it will help you create a lot more combinations. Daily fantasy is something that you can only crack through multiple combinations. You cannot do it with one combination. And the key to it is understanding what are the possibilities that exist in the match. For example, will the new bowler will the new ball will it be a deck where new bowlers will have a lot of success? And if it's something that if that is the case, then I'm sorry, these messages are disturbing me. It's diverting my attention. So bear with me. This is also the first time that I'm doing this. I've done a lot of podcasts, but this is the first time that I'm doing an episode where I'm live on the video as well. So I think these things usually disturb me even when I'm on podcast. So imagine. So we'll go back to it. But if you look at it, it starts with Optus. New ball pays a real threat to opening batters. So Optus is one of my favorite venues, and if you have seen all the matches that have been played on the venue in the last couple of months in the World Cup and in BBL, it has been a nightmare for opening batters. So that's what we have referred to here. And if you go through it, you'll find that there is for every bit of text there is an opportunity alert as well. This is something that we follow throughout for all of the stuff we do. We maintain it in a very versatile manner. Not everything will be light, and not everything will be very simple as well. We want to cater to all types of audiences. Those who want to learn, we were happy to help them learn, and those who want to just the teams, just the picks, we are happy to give them out as well. So if you look at it here, there's a fantasy opportunity alert, and Jai is been given as a top captaincy pick. He picked up 4 wickets on that day. I think it was a slow start as well, and it changed soon after some one of those batters hit him for 3 fours in a row, and then he came back with a couple of wickets. Then he picked up 2 more on its top. And if you look at it, there is also an alert for differential. Both Behrendorff and Dorf have been marked as differentials. This is something will be a lot simplified form. You'll find it in the 6 sheet ideas in one that's marked as fantasy. But by differential, I think this is a question that people often ask me as well, what do you mean by differential? So what I mean by differential is that players who are owned by less than 30% of the teams that are playing on the platform. For example, these players, when they do well and when you have them in your team, they're literally game changers. For example, if you have Dorf, I think Barendorf picked up a wicket, or at least definitely picked up a wicket, and maybe he took a catch as well. Maybe he could have picked a couple of wickets as well, but it definitely turned out to be a useful pick that day. And one of the picks that turned the game for a lot of our subscribers on that day. Bolt didn't do well. I think he went wicketless, which is bizarre. I mean, if you give a Bolt on that outer stake, it's like a dream come true for most bowling units. To see him not get a wicket that day was particularly bizarre. He has been generally off color in this tournament as well, which is just something I find it difficult to understand because he came into it in great form. So if you go through it, read every bit of that. Said whoever, whatever type of fantasy player you are, if you are just someone who is going to pick teams, if you're just someone who is going to do your own research and pick teams, this is an essential read for all of you. So, for example, here is an alert where we have raised. That leave Faf out, and Faf was someone who was owned by 91 percentage of the managers, which shows how popular pick Faf that day was. But I think he was dismissed for a single digit figures, and he's got off to a slow start as well. So this we based it on the fact that obviously Faf's weakness against left arm seamers this year. He's been very exceptionally vulnerable against the bowling type, and it's something surprising as well because throughout his career, he has not had such a big weakness against left arm pace, and this is something that has cropped up of late, and this has been tormenting him. Literally, when the opposition has two left arm paces operating in the power play, it's a no brainer for us to recommend leaving him out. This is not something that I'd call it as a great call. This is obvious, but when I what we regard as obvious, you could see that it's still been owned by 91 percentage of managers. These are the decisions we took that helped our subscribers win in lakhs, literally in lakhs. They could give. I got 100. I got 100 screenshots of people posting their screenshots. It was as little as it started from as little as 500 to 700 to as big as 550,000, 70,000, and there were a couple of screenshots that were at lakhs as well, 1.25 lakhs, I guess. There are a couple of those screenshots, and I retweeted some of it from my Twitter account as well. It's been fantastic. So yeah, if you're someone who is living in countries where sports betting is legal, this is a dog that you could use for sports betting as well. For example, this here we have given out a sports betting opportunity alert where we have used the dominance of new ball bowlers at the venue and the struggling nature of the top order batting units in both Melbourne Stars and Perth Scotches, and we have recommended to go under on runs in the first 6 overs in the power play. I think both of these turned out in favor of those who went ahead with it, and this is something we have an investment strategy that's going out as well. We base it based on how confident we are and how valuable how big the scope of the prediction is. So I think usually unders in the runs would be around 45 and 46, and maybe because BBL is something that has only 4 overs per play, it could be 41 or 42 as well. And both of these landed, so it should be a great day for anyone who went by this. And keep in mind, all of these are opportunities. They're not something that you should go with everything. Maybe if we give out 5 different opportunity alerts, but it's something even in general, both fantasy and sports betting is something that's best done when you're not overdoing it. Maybe if we give out 5 opportunities, yeah, we give out our own predictions, direct predictions in the channel as well. But if you're someone who want to do more, use if we give 5, maybe pick 2, analyze everything, and pick which is the best of all those 5. All of these 5 are something we have 5 different boxes. We only give out something if it takes at least 4 of those. So we are while all of these must land on most days, we do not recommend going all in on these smaller bets. So you could maybe use 2 of them, pick the 2 best opportunities from all that we have raised and go for it. Here is, yeah, Joe Clark's vulnerability against left arm pace is something that we have predicted in that in that ahead of the match as well against left arm. Eventually, it was Jason Behrendorff who got him out, although that was against old ball, and he kind of was fortunate to escape against a new ball as well. But this is something that when the quality of bowling attack is so good, you do normally batters, even if they escape their most vulnerable phase, the effect of it, maybe their strike rate would have been low, maybe the team might have been struggling, they'll eventually get dismissed. So it almost always works out in one form or the other. So this is the basic of it. Bringing in Turner. Turner was someone who was only owned by 43% of managers on that day. But look at what we have said. We brought in Turner for that game, and he was only under one by 43, owned by 43% of managers. He scored a 50, I guess, or maybe fell short 49 or something. You might ask me why I'm not giving you the exact numbers, but these are not the important thing. The important thing only comes after these. So Turner changed the match, and he is one of the reasons why this match was sensational hit for all of our subscribers. So you have a read-edit, a complete read-edit. It will give you a great understanding of how the match is going to go. And once you're done with it, come to this page. This is the with this venue broken down in detail. We have a much more comprehensive breakdown of venues in our venue packs, that it's currently locked in covers of Surge channel. For those who joined our channel after December 10, you can get it by subscribing to it. So these are all simple things. I think any cricket fan will be able to understand what this means. So I'll come to this part. This is one of my favorite sections of the entire pack. So I'll explain it. So what the color codes are general. Obviously, wherever you see it red, it's difficult. Green is easy, and yellow is somewhere in between. So what we mean by this is in innings one, in this like phase one, some of these packs you'll find these in most of those packs, and some I might have missed out. So these are the three phases that we split T20 into generally. So what we have done is here in overs 1 to 6, when runs is marked as yellow, it basically means the run scoring is not too high, not too low. It will be somewhere average. So when wickets is marked as red, this is a phase where taking wickets will be difficult generally. And it was 7 to 16 when it's marked as yellow. It's again the same thing. Run scoring is neither too high, not too low, and it's somewhere in between. And when wickets is marked as green, this is a phase where you could generally expect a lot of wickets. Note, however, that this is for regular start games, which is when we are considering BBL. Somewhere around, I'm just checking if I'm still online. I'm still, everything is recording. And if something green is something that if it's marked as green, then that's a phase that you can expect bowlers to take a lot of wickets in. So when I mean by regular start games, it means that in BBL it's normally at 1:30, 1:30 to 2. So for the ones that start late, for example, for some of Perth games start at 3:45. So when they start at 3:45, it's more closer to innings two and innings two than innings one. So you would expect wickets to be a little bit more easier to take. Maybe it would turn yellow for the first innings of a 3:45 start. And the runs, I think it'll again be more difficult as well. So that's what we have seen in the entire World Cup. So, for example, in innings two of Perth Scorchers for a match that happens at Optus, run scoring will be difficult in the first two sessions. That's why it has been marked as red. And usually at Optus, this is what happens. If you get through the first 10 overs, there is a lot of runs on offer. And that's how you can see it here and here as well. Run scoring is marked as green. So you can expect a lot of runs. This is the logic that we used to pick in Hilton Cartwright and Ashton Turner for the match, and both scored and both resulted in a lot of wins for our subscribers. And interestingly, wickets is something that's marked red as well, because it's not easy. Obviously, when someone is scoring a lot of runs, there is a reason they are scoring a lot of runs. They're there, and it's difficult to get them out, and that's why sometimes a lot of these correlate. And you could see that wicket scoring is not sometimes, a lot of the times, a lot of these correlate as well. So if you look at it, the wicket taking is difficult at the death in the first innings, and it's also not easy in the second innings as well. So this is what we mean by this section. This is what we intend to convey the section. But when a lot of our subscribers, I think when they look at the stats, they look all of these. They were bullshit. I think the okay. I'll switch the charger on. I think it should be good. Okay, so a lot of our subscribers, they go when you look at stats. No one stat is no one stat is the ultimate one. This doesn't mean you have to base your entire picks on this, because in a cricket match or whatever sporting matches, the most important factor is the team strength. For example, a stronger team batting second may not find it as difficult as a weaker team, or maybe in a match where it is even Stevens. The stronger team will still dominate, and hence all of these could change. So when you're making your picks, keep in mind which is a stronger team. If a stronger team, for example, in the opposite situation, is batting first, then overload on the stronger team, go 7-4. But if a stronger team is batting second, just because it is marked as red here, and just because it's marked as it's easy to take wickets here, just don't go in with the bowlers from the weaker team. For example, if say India, no, not maybe India, if Sri Lanka and Australia are batting, playing, do not overload on Sri Lanka just because everything is easier in the batting is easier in the first innings, and that's why you see a lot of batting first teams win at Optus as well. You have to take into account the team strength, and if the stronger team should still be the most important factor, then and only then all of these stats come into play. Only then these face wide stats come into play, and only then this favors bat second. For example, it doesn't mean if Sri Lanka bat first, they'll have a 62% chance of winning a match. These are all numbers that individually don't have telling impact. When you combine all of these together, only then you'll get a real picture. For example, if it makes that 62% of teams winning batting first have a good chance of winning, then it doesn't mean whatever team bats first, then it'll start winning the game. These are some of the doubts that we have been asked. So why not? For example, the team is batting first. Why are you not overloading on it? Why are you not going 7-4 on it? Because the team is weaker. There is no point in overloading on a weaker team, because the team is going to lose, the players are going to suffer. So you still need to maintain a healthy balance. And this is the venue section and matchups. I'll come back. Maybe I'll finish it first. So what we this is an advanced matchup section. It's not something that's based on normal numbers. For example, if half two places, for example, take Adam Lith has an exceptional numbers against left arm new ball pace and right arm new ball pace, but there is a reason why he has not been marked not green here. There are a lot of filters that we use, lot of factors that we use to highlight it. So when we have marked it as red, it means the batter is most likely to struggle against new ball left arm pace in this phase. So by new ball, what we mean is always overs 1 to 4, and this is bolt 7 to 16. This is middle overs. What happens, for example, for even here you could notice that Faf du Plessis struggles against left arm new ball pace in the first 4 overs. Left arm pace in the first 4 overs, but once he gets through, he could be dangerous against those bowling type. These are the intelligent filters that we have brought in. For example, a lot of these fantasy analytics, what they're doing is they're considering left arm pace as an entire thing. For example, left arm pace 1 to 20, and as a fantasy player, as a pro fantasy player myself, if you're giving me batters numbers versus a bowler for 20 overs, it doesn't add value at all. For example, the batter could have scored runs at the death, but might have struggled at the opening spell. So that's what I want to do. That's what I want to know. How if Faf du Plessis, how I just want to know how good Faf du Plessis is against left arm new ball pace, because that's what is going to decide how well he's going to do against a team that has two left arm paces in the opposition. So that's why we have made a lot of intelligence splits, and these are not normal matchup stats that you normally see. The conditions are they're adjusted to conditions. For example, if Josh English is playing in BBL, his numbers, Josh English may not be the right example for it. For example, if we take Faf du Plessis, his IPL numbers against spin doesn't matter to me in deciding how well he's going to do against spin in BBL, while the decks are not as supportive for spin. So I'm not going to base, for example, if he is someone who has played a lot of his cricket at Chepauk and he's had poor numbers, for example, say if he has, it may not always apply, not necessarily apply to Faf, but in general, say, assume that he's someone who averages 30 and strikes at 100 at Chepauk, a batter. What am I going to do with those numbers for a match that's happening at Perth? Venue where spin is a lot easier to face. These are the factors that we have taken into account. We have developed this section with all of these factors in mind: intelligent over filters, intelligent condition filters, intelligent baller filters, intelligent splits as well, and even in general, if you could see, its new ball left arm is this is one reason why we picked Barrendorf for this match. Joe Clark struggles against left arm pace, left arm new ball pace. Marcus Stein is left struggles against left arm new ball pace, and it's the same. We've split new ball into left and right because of that. You could see a lot of batters who have a really good record against right arm new ball pace, struggle against left arm new ball pace. So that's the kind of depth that we go into, and this is the single biggest reason that why we have had such good results in this BBL. You can see a lot of these tweets where BBL has been unpredictable. BBL is something that we cannot play fantasy, daily fantasy, but this is a tournament that we have made. They've made our subscribers a lot of money, and the reason for this is such extensive analytics, such extensive breakdowns, and such comprehensive packs that we have been sending out. So I'm finally coming to how long has this video been? 21 minutes, not as bad as I thought. So I think I'll take about 10 to 20 minutes and finish it off. So this is the main pack. This is like this is the main section. Although for me it doesn't. For me the match notes is what I love the most. But for people, for majority, this is what this is the main section. So how do you create multiple teams from it? Mm, so that's a question that I've often been asked. So this is what do we mean by the fantasy 11 here? This is 11 that you could use both in grand and small leagues. That's how we give out our 11s. It's not something that's only for small leagues, or it's not something that's only for grand leagues. Our approach to daily fantasy is a lot more aggressive than most other fantasy tippers or fantasy websites, because we believe in daily fantasy. It's either go big, go home. For example, here I think we have left out Faf du Plessis. He's not even in the alt options, and I think we left out Adam Zampa as well, because it's easier to face like spin in Optus, and he's again not in alt options as well. So which is basically the 12th and 13th player. That's how aggressive we usually are, and we are so confident with all of these because we have the numbers to back it up, and the results have shown so far. So this 11 you could literally enter into small leagues and mega leagues. It's not a problem at all. But the key is, how do you decide captaincy and vice captaincy, and how do you expand these? How do you multiply these teams? The first thing that you need to do is, I'll just expand this, and yeah. So the first team that you should create is have these 7 players, and look at what's under this. Oh my God. Okay, look at what's under this. It's 20. But the two that's marked here, they what we basically mean by that is these are our safest and the best captaincy and vice captaincy option. The percentages, number of people who have either captained or vice captained Jai Richardson, which is 26 percentage for the match, and this is 15. 15 is generally a little bit lower than what you'd find for popular players. And Josh English, I think he picked up 3 catches, or there's a stumping two, I guess, and he scored 20 runs. So it was a good day for Josh English as well. So what we mean by this is, the first combination that you should create from it is Cap Richardson, Vice Cap English. Combination one is created. So how do you create more combinations? So for this is for small leagues. For for leagues that have 10 to 50 members, what you could do is you could pick one captain from here. It could be either Jai Richardson or Josh English. So it could be a captain. And what you do is you create a second team by picking one from here. So this is differential captain and vice captain, because in leagues that have 10 to 15, you need someone to push you up the ladder and not go with the most common picks. So you could, for example, pick a Ty or Berendorf. I think they both did pretty decently that day. Picked up 2 wickets, I guess. And this could be one of your combinations. Use the other one and make a third combination. So you have already got 3 teams. The fourth team could be got by take the captaincy from here and make Josh English the captain, and pick one of them from here as well, and from different shells, and who burn it off and make for this is something that works much better for bigger leagues. But in general, what I do is I'd recommend going in with the safest captaincy and captaincy options based on the price split. That's the key for me, because if you're joining a league that only has value in finishing first, then you should it's a no-brainer. Captain Barendorf and Vice Captain Ty. Don't even think about these two. But if it's a league that gives out majority of its money, for example, to the top 10 or to the top 15, usually these are leagues that come under the 33 percentage price distribution value thing. And in that, you do not want to go fully crazy. Just play it safe. I mean, Richardson and English are still top picks, and you can rely on the differentials to make a difference, and they'll be enough for you to make it to the top 10. And that's what I personally did, and I ended up winning 14K from the game by investing just 6 to 7K. So this is what happens. What I'll do is I've shown you how to create multiple teams. So this is the differential section that I was talking about. So Jason Berendoff was owned by only 33 percentage of managers. I mean, these things continue to surprise me. How would you not have Jason Berendoff at Optus? So that's something that we have had. We had him in our first 11 year, and Trent Bolt as well. Although he didn't do well, I mean, if Bolt plays 10 times at Optus, I'll take him 10 every single time. So that's how good he is as a fantasy option at Optus. So he was owned by 38 percentage only at the time of creating in the article, and I think creating the pack, and I think it even went further down after that. So this is Nick Hobson. Nick Hobson didn't bat that day, but considering the alternative half Duplessis failed, it didn't have a lot of impact for us. And this is another. I think Stoinis picked up 50 points of the day. I think he scored it. He picked up a wicket. I guess he maybe took a catch as well. So he turned out to be a useful pick that day as well. So I've shown you how to create multiple teams. Take this is 11, and first take one with these three, and with this vice captain, and then pick one of these as captain, and pick a vice captain from here. Same way, pick the other one that you had left out, and pick that one as captain, and then one vice captain from here. So there is the for this will give you 4 to 5 teams at least. If I'd recommend generally going with 6 teams. So if you have 4 teams so far, and the remaining 2 teams can be created by, for example, NCN has been marked as an alternative for all these 3 bowlers. So what you do is take Bolt out, put NCN in, and take Webster out, put take Webster out, and put Hardy in, and it's a new 11, right? You have changed a couple of players. That's how you generally do daily fantasy. What you do is change a couple of players from the base combination from the first 11, and now use the same captaincy, same vice captain. You'll create a fifth. What is that? Yeah, C. We see this is the fifth combination. The next one is that what you could do is, yeah, you could take here. You could take, you could create a six combination with tie and parent of. You got six combinations. Why do you need us to give six different teams? I mean, imagine us giving out 66 player names every day and six different combinations. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of your time, and it's a you eventually daily fantasy or in general fantasy gaming in something that can only be cracked if you use all of these research and build teams yourself. If you cannot rely on us every day, I mean, if it's so easy, if someone could give you teams and you could start making millions, then why is it not happening already? It's tough. You need to know how to make teams, and the key isn't doing the right research. And we are doing all of the research that you need for you. We do not use the conventional stats. There are a lot of stupid stats that being used by fantasy experts and analysts these days, but we do not use those stats. We use completely different stats, and this is something that you do not see. And they are all using all sorts of nonsense, like a player bats first, he has a poor record in his career. I mean, a player might have batted first at say a venue like what do you call, maybe at Chinnaswamy at an afternoon game. If he has batted a lot of his career there, he did not have a great record batting in the noon, especially the current status of the venue where it's a bit dry, and so scoring will be difficult. What use would it be to me if the player is playing at a venue where batting first is a lot easier? Unless you can logically explain all of those stats, unless you could tell me why a player is struggling batting first, or why a player is struggling performing better when he's batting second. This is not the stat that you should be using. There's another stupid stat that's going around about how a player performs well in the first match of every tournament. I mean, all of these, how do you even explain it? This could be a small sample space issue. These are not the numbers that you should be using. If you look at our dogs, we don't use a lot of these conventional numbers at all. We don't even use batter versus bowler matchup. For example, I don't care how well Faf du Plessis has done against Bolt. It's not relevant. It's going to be like what, 30 to 40 balls. What am I going to get from it? Nothing. But on the other hand, if I look at what Faf du Plessis has done against left stump pacers in general, that's going to give me a lot of numbers. I mean, bigger sample size from which I can give a reliable prediction. That's what we've been doing. That's why our predictions have been so good in the BBL so far. So I think this will help you understand a little bit our packs better. I'm not, but I don't think it'll solve all of your problems, but I think it will solve a lot of your problems already. And we'll keep doing more of these shows, and we'll help you how to use our packs better. There's also the packs that are locked in the surge, our team and menu packs. I think they need even bigger explaining. So I think I'll start a separate episode for that, and maybe explain that as well. And what else is left? Okay, this I'll conclude it with this. So what I mean by grand league or small game, this is something that we have. The market goes out for every game. So when we mean both grand league and small league, what we basically mean is play both grand and small leagues on the day. And small leagues you could also invest high. For example, you could play five different small leagues or six different small leagues. But because we are confident, because of this fact, mm, that there are three or more differentials in the team. For example, if you notice that there are four differentials. So in this case, what we think is that even though our captain or vice captain flops, we still have enough value in these to take down these small leagues, and that's what happened that day. That's why people won so much, so top. And if we have just said it's a grand league game, what we mean is what we do not necessarily mean is that do not play small league at all. That's not what we intend to convey. What we mean is do not invest a lot on small leagues, because it could very well be decided by luck on that day. Even in general in daily fantasy, you need some luck, but on that day, a lot of it could come down to luck, and a lot of it could come down to uh, uh, one player. I mean, when your money is when what you're going to make profit or loss depends on one player, then it's not really a merit based game. It has to be based on a number of factors. And that's why when we have four differentials, we have a lot of opportunities to cash in on that day. So when, for example, if you just find grand league only, yeah. If Okay, for example, if this game had this note, it basically means create 5 to 6 combinations and play in leagues where you could enter with multiple teams, like 6 to 7 teams with small entries, and aim at being lucky on that day, basically. And if one of those combinations work out, if you had tried this with this game, it would have easily worked out. You'd have won a minimum of 1 lakh. So try that instead of joining a lot of small leagues at a high entry rates. For example, we will generally join the 1,750, 3,000, that type of 2 member, 3 member leagues. Avoid joining, maybe joining one of the small leagues, or one of those 33% leagues that is easy to win. And so I, if so that's basically what we mean by this. So top tricks to crack the game. This is something that will vary for every match, based on what are those oppositions good at, what they are bad at, and what kind of decks they are playing. So this is pretty much it for the day. I'll come back and I'll explain our team packs and venue packs. There is a lot more detailed, and they need a little bit more time as well. So for now, I think I'm done. I hope a lot of you got at least some of the answers that we are looking for, and we're always looking to come back with more and more answers and keep winning. And I think we are currently at six 30 subscribers, but the subscription should have crossed 750, because we also have another channel on the preseason app at the moment. It's called Covers of Surge, and that's where the team and venue packs have been locked. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you for joining, and bye.